What's going on, guys? So from SpartanStrings, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the STX Cell 4 gloves. Now, I've been using these gloves for about 6 months now. This is actually a brand new pair right here, but I've been using these for about 6 months now, and they've been holding up really well. I'm extremely impressed with the way these performed and how much they held up for such a long period of time. So to kind of get into it, these gloves come in at $130. So they're kind of expensive in my opinion, but like I said in the past, the more money you spend on something, obviously the longer it's going to last and the higher quality it'll be. So it's definitely worth dropping at least $130 on these gloves. And there are actually even more expensive gloves out there, which I think is kind of absurd. But $130 is kind of reasonable for these gloves just for how high quality they are. So the first thing you notice about these gloves is the GeoFlex technology. Now, obviously they're called the Cell gloves, so the GeoFlex technology is something really important about these gloves. It kind of has these hexagon-shaped pads inside and these little vent areas right here. And it overall looks really clean looking. I think in the past they've really emphasized the honeycomb design for the Cell series, and I think they did a really good job with these, because I think the Cell 3 gloves kind of lacked all the benefits that this glove has. So the hexagon pads really add some extra protection in there, and they kind of patented that, so when you get checked, it'll just really bounce off of those hexagon pads. And it allows it to be lightweight and very versatile, so they can really place it specifically where they want more padding. And I think that's an awesome part about the Cell series. So I think they did a great job incorporating the GeoFlex technology in these gloves, just to add some more protection overall and keep it lightweight. So one of my favorite things about these gloves is that they're so broken in right out of the package. So there really is no break-in period, which I really like, because sometimes when I get a new pair of gloves and I have to spend some time breaking them in, it kind of takes too long and they end up getting old really quickly. But with these gloves right out of the package, they're super broken in. They have a really nice soft palm that I really like. So you really feel everything on the shaft. This one I've been using for about 6 months, and this is a brand new pair. And they're pretty much the same exact thing. Nothing has gone wrong with these at all. They're just a little bit more broken in and flimsy, but these right out of the package are going to be super broken in already. It has a nice cuff on the bottom here, and then once you put it on, it has a really soft palm, like I said before, which I really like. I don't really like mesh palms like some Maverick gloves have, but the suede palm here is super nice. You really feel everything on the shaft, especially when you start sweating a little bit. That's when these really break in nicely. I remember the first day I got this pair, it really took me about like 5-10 minutes to get them like warmed up and started sweating a little bit, and they were super broken in already, as if I've had them for a couple of months, which I think is pretty incredible, because a lot of gloves take a long time to break in, but these ones broke in right out of the package. A lot of gloves also have stiff thumbs, which I think is really annoying, because a lot of the time when you're holding your stick, you want to be able to cradle like this, and you don't want your thumb to be as restricted. So I think with these gloves, what they did was just really break up the thumb into a couple pieces so it flexes a little bit more and it's not as stiff, which I really liked. And not only is the thumb a lot less stiff, but the top of the gloves a lot less stiff. So a lot of the times, other gloves, when you try to make a fist, the top of the hand feels really stiff. But what they decided to do with these gloves is just make it a lot more flexible, especially around the knuckles right here. They just broke it into a couple more pieces, so it is able to flex a lot easier. So back to the pair that I've been using for a while. The palm has absolutely no rips in them, which I think is incredible, because in the past, a lot of gloves that I've worn have ripped, which I think is really annoying, because once they rip, you have to go and get a new pair and you have to spend a lot of money on it. But these have lasted me so long, and they've gotten really broken in now. As you can see, as I'm shaking them right now, the fingers are already super broken in, and it feels super nice on your hand, especially when you're holding a stick now. So another thing about these gloves is that they're super lightweight. A lot of the gloves that I've seen in the past can get really bulky and heavy, and especially if you're sweating and stuff, they can get really soggy and really disgusting. But these are really nice. They're very ventilated, which is good. They have a little mesh section of the palm, which I like, but the majority of the palm is suede. And I think that really helps just keep it nice and soft, and so you feel everything on the shaft, which I like. There are a couple holes in the fingers so your fingers can breathe a little bit. It's a little bit slimmer than most gloves, which I liked as well. It has a really clean look to it. It has a big cuff up here, so they're really protective. It also has these 3 pieces around your wrist, so it does protect nicely on the top of your hand, which I really like. And another important aspect of these gloves is the cuff. It has a nice Velcro piece right here, which is easy to take on and off. And another important aspect about these gloves is it has a guard lock. Now, what a guard lock does is just kind of hold your mouthpiece in here, because a lot of people put their mouthpiece either in here or on their helmet or somewhere else, but they have a designated spot for them on these gloves, which I think is really cool, because I always take my mouthpiece out and I just stick it in there in games, and it's so much easier than trying to put it in somewhere else and put it on your helmet and end up losing it. It just stays locked in right there, which is really helpful. So moving on to protectiveness, these gloves are really protective. The only thing that I found about these gloves is that they're a little bit vulnerable around these areas on the fingers. So if you do get checked there, it does hurt. It kind of hits your nail sometimes. But other than that, around the top of the hand, the thumb, and everywhere else in the glove, it is super protective. I haven't had really any problems except for my nails sometimes, but that's kind of expected in most gloves because it is softer around this edge part right here. But the top of the part of the fingers and everything else is really well protected, which I really liked. So overall, these gloves are super nice, very clean looking, and also very protective. That's all for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to SpartanStrings, and follow us on Instagram at SpartanStrings. That's all I got for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Peace out.